Good evening, Rebel fans. Superfed TV and my co-host decided to spend the evening with a woman who's two-thirds his age. So instead of doing a recap video, I figured I'd cover a couple matches, and we'll still get the recap video a little bit later this week. But yeah, I want to cover some more matches beyond just the usual recap stuff. But in the spirit of me covering matches, did feel it was appropriate to add a little bit something before we start. Let's go ahead and do that. Warning. Warning. What you are about to hear is in fact opinion. It is not necessarily a representation of the league, coaches, or channel. You will hear things that may not make you feel good. This is called criticism. Sometimes criticism can even be subjective. Blood Bowl is a game of dice and strategy, and there will be comments on both dice and strategy. It does not necessarily mean that the subjects are good or bad people, but they probably are bad coaches. This is sarcasm. Either way, if you think it is offensive to be told you are wrong, tell someone else who cares. Enjoy. And with that out of the way, we will begin our coverage of Division 3. And the match that we're going to cover today is You're a Lizard Arry, coached by Zarky, versus the T-Self Protheon Passers. And both these coaches made the playoffs their first season. I didn't start with the team view. Maybe I'll do that the next one, just to get a glimpse of what the teams look like. But this is a match from week 2. And there's going to be a lot of lizard versus elf matches. I guess not a lot of lizards. There's only one lizard team, but Arky's going to have his share of elves as we go throughout the rest of the season here. We paused that here. Here's what the holdup was. And unpaused. There we go. Looks like the coin toss just took a little bit of time to get going, but looks like the Pro Elves won the toss and elected to defend first. They've got 3 loners on the pitch, which is great. Avoid any permanent damage to the team, at least on the line of scrimmage blocks. And they've set up in the kind of standard 3-3-5 defense that we see on a lot of teams, not just elves. While I'm doing the recap, well, I guess it's not really a recap, but while I'm reviewing these games, I will be pausing periodically to kind of talk about the matchup and where things are at and how I would play out the turn or expect the turn to go. Kickoff event is a riot. Both teams lose a turn. Fun and interactive kickoff events, of course. If anything, I'd say that this favors the defending team when that happens. 3-die block off the bat, gets the knockdown. Just a push onto loner number 2, Ron Weasel Skank. And the Croxagore draws first blood. Since he does have a tackle mighty blow source, he's going to go ahead and blitz the fending sidestep blitzer. No armor break there. And returning back to the rest of the group so that Saurus is not isolated. I like that. If you only have one tackle piece, it's important that you prioritize protecting it because you know that the elves would love to get rid of that. Even worth fouling with one of your valuable players. Easy ball recovery here for the Skinks, and he positions himself inside the cage. Very safe there. Let me get this actually screen off here. 5 cage dive is entirely possible in there, but I don't think you risk it on turn 1. I think that you want to basically stall out. Sure, you lost an elf, but losing 1 elf on the line of scrimmage blocks is, frankly, standard. So, what I expect T-Self to do here is get up a good, solid defensive screen, forcing the lizards to kind of commit one way or the other. They do have good movement on the lizards, so screening is not always very effective play. Additionally, they can just kind of man up with all their Saurus. So you do want to get pressure. You absolutely want to try and make blocks onto the Skinks where you can. Start evening out the numbers as best as possible. But he does have a bench of 2 Skinks, so if you go after the Skinks, it's going to be for the drive only for the most part. We see a scoring threat immediately come out from T-Self. That I like, but at the same time, he's a bit premature. But I guess he's just saying that if the ball does manage to get loose for whatever reason, scoring threat is available. And we do see the screen set up here with the standard elf 2x2x2x2. We need to make this loner dodge, and of course the loner dodge fails. Courtesy of the tail. Tail doing a thing. Everybody always says the tail is a lie. Not today. Unfortunately, that is the thrower that is left to screen on his own. Already with a movement bust, Sif Muna. I would expect him to get blitz this turn. Although, the way that positioning is there may not be the case, but we'll see. Putting the cage right on that loner. And positioning this Saurus here in order to get a block on this loner, basically, if he stands up. Otherwise, not going to have an easy dodge. We do see the blitz onto the thrower. And an interesting choice to follow that up. Gonna expect the Saurus to get hit this next turn. Diving tackle sidestep onto the scoring threat. That is very good. As long as he doesn't get a POW, that skink is gonna stick on him. The base Saurus here, already at a 1 die. One more person coming around here can make this a 2 die. In fact, he's just gonna blitz that target, even though you have the base block. He really wants to get the knockdown. He does. Let's see if he fouls it. No armor break, of course. 89 can do things occasionally. Doesn't look like we're going to see the foul here. I personally would have liked the foul. Sure, you don't have a bench, but if you get rid of the 1 tackle piece on the lizard team, and it's the 1 mighty blow Saurus, that's easily the most frustrating Saurus for you to have to deal with. I also don't like marking the Crocs before this goes on at this particular spot. If you want to mark it, that's fine. But don't mark it in a way where when he makes the block, he's now going to be up against your blitzer. You want to make sure there's that distance there. If you marked him in this square, for example, the block would kind of push him forward and still keep him off this guy. So to me, that you had the movement as well. To me, that's not... I mean, if you wanted to set up, for example, a block onto him, that would be one thing, but I don't see a world or a play where you're going to really be trying to take down that Crocs at this point in time. So that's just one little positional difference that, you know, it's minor, but it can lead to other things. That puts an assist on this blitzer, makes it easier to blitz him. You know, in a lizard matchup, that's not as big of a deal, but just in general, that's the kind of positioning that can be improved if you really think about what the opponent's going to do. That stand-up from the loner does attract the block. That works out exactly as Arry planned. The blitz action is a 1 in 9. Nobody gets knocked down there. I again expect that Saurus to be knocked over next turn. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. The Crocs does make the block and is now based up against both those guys. Guard comes in to make this block a lot tougher. However, I don't think the cage is going to be perfect. This might be the chance. Or anything else moves. Would this be the one opportunity that I would take? Possibly. You would need to base up this guy first. Pop this guy open, and then I think you're going to run down the middle here. Is this diving tackle? It's not. So that would be the hole. Be right through here. If you wanted to go for it this turn. Don't necessarily have to, but you get a 1-die here by basing this guy, putting another one there, and you have to follow. So you're still diving through tackle. Yeah, it's not great. Not great. Does this guy have guard? He does have guard. This guy doesn't. Yeah, this may not be the best chance still. We did see a second scoring threat. I didn't realize he did that last turn. Here is the blitz. Onto this source. Oh no. I really like that. I guess it's still only going to be a 1-die. Yeah. This is a very strong commitment from the Pro Elf team, and I just don't know that they needed to do that. I'm not sure what they would really gain from getting this strong of a commitment, unless they were really just trying to get a foul here. But they had already moved all their other players over on this 1-die, so they wouldn't have even been able to get the foul, I don't think. I guess he could have maybe fouled from that position right there. It just seemed like a very all-in move at that moment, and they were very based up at the end of that turn, giving up these 2 blocks. 3 blocks actually, and then a blitz, so there's potential for damage, although, yeah, Zarky gets really frustrated with the 3 pushes there, and re-rolls it. Is rewarded for his greed re-roll with a knockout on the blitzer from his mighty blow. And the Crocs, inspired by the knockdown, mighty blow gets the stun. Again, the ball is not perfectly safe from these lizards. Okay, good. He is repositioning his cage away from this action over here. But I'm seeing a path. I don't know if he really is going to take it through tackle, but there's still a decent path here. Here comes the blitz. There's the target. The thrower with no skills. So, going for the most likely knockdown there, since he doesn't have tackle on his strength 5 source. And again, another push onto the loner. Really liking Zarky's play so far. This is the turn where we see a lightning bolt and it fails. Extremely frustrating. Tackle also doing a thing. Back-to-back 1s. 3 in a row. Tic-tac-toe. Down goes the Pro Elf, and look at all the based ones. First action dodge in tackle is risky. I feel like that's a tilt play after the lightning bolt failed. This is, of course, now putting Zarky in a position where he can pretty much score at will. It's going to be very hard for them to kind of pressure the ball, although this block before the rest of these pieces moved is a little bit greedy. You know, obstacles certainly can happen. I don't see what you're going to do with these pieces other than get up here and protect the ball, so maybe we want to do that first. But hey, there you go. You get an injury on that thrower. Strength 5, Saurus getting just a little bit closer to that next level. And this is really the consequence of making that first action dodge through tackle. First action fails are, you know, the bane of every team, Elves especially, because a lot of time your first action is just a single 1-die. Bash teams get those 2-die blocks, which are relatively safe. We see the diving tackle come down to mark the Agi 5. With the tail, really going hard here. Big foul. I like it. Ooh, the big foul is rewarded. It's going to be a send-off. Appo's badly hurt. And Zin, the star player of this team, is still on the board. The referee helps the Pro Elves out a little bit here, getting their first removal of a skink. But with a bench of 2, they're going to need more than that if they want to see a win here today. Agi 5 does dodge out a tackle this time. The other Agi 5. And a nice dodge through tackle zones here from the Blitzer to apply a lot of pressure. We will be seeing the Lizards score next turn, I believe. So, Elves haven't done the best job of screening this off. Technically, these high movement Lizards probably do something to cage up if he wants to stall this out further. Let's see what he elects to do. First action Blitz. Again, tempting the Quad Skulls. Doesn't get punished, of course, but still. Finds the knockdown onto the Blitzer, no damage. Tail comes through, marking up Agi 5. Guess what? That's Agi 5. Yeah, he realizes it's Agi 5. He doesn't go for the score, so he's going to stall. We're going to see that high movement Lizard play. I would like, actually, that diving tackle to be 1 square down, to be honest. Because the tail is doing literally nothing. This is still a 2+ with a reroll. Come back through here and fish for a POW on the skink. Additionally, this one, diving tackle does make a difference on, but he's just worried about the tackle. But if you give your opponent 2 dice to get a POW, you're gonna find it. Again, this is still... Well, I guess no, it wouldn't be a 2+ at this point. Ooh, goes through. Forgets about the diving tackle, I would imagine, but the tail and the diving tackle combined onto this Blitzer. That's going to cost him. Now he's got diving tackle on both the Agi 5. And he makes a 3-die block, too. Ouch. Agi 5 down. Just badly hurt. T-Self so far has got to be a little unhappy with how his team's armor's fared, but a lot of it's just getting punished for a couple misplays. Three-die blitz onto one of the 2 remaining catchers on the pitch. Doesn't draw blood. Darky with more of a screen than a cage here. I feel like the ball is still vulnerable. Maybe not. Okay, he does walk in the score. It is turn 8. Not going for the turn 8 stall. Knockout does wake up. I believe was a loner. Oh no, that was the Blitzer, yeah. The Pro Elves certainly can 1-turn here, and the Lizards are fully respecting that. Quick Snap would make this actually really, I think, a bit easier for these Pro Elves. Not sure if they're really setting up for the 1-turn though. Anything, I think he's setting up for the Riot. Certainly can happen. We already saw a Riot to shorten the game. May see another Riot to make it a little bit longer. If the Riot does come, I mean, he's just going to screen up here and throw a pass, check it down. Yeah. Not positioning to get any blocks, just simply going for that Riot. Doesn't get the Riot. For Lizard Arry. It's an extra reroll that he will not be able to use. So looks like we're probably going to go for a 3-die block onto the skink. Sidestep. Consolation prize. Gets the knockdown. And knockout. See if that sticks. Fails the pickup. He's got a reroll. Might as well burn it. Manages to get the ball. Accurate strong arm. He can throw the 2+ from there, but he walks up anyway. Another one. Pass gets the reroll off. And a success on the catch. Knockout stays off the pitch, so we are going to have 11 players with no bench at the moment going into the Pro Elf drive. I'm curious to see what we get out of the Pro Elves. More likely than not, seeing as attrition has already been a factor in this game, I'm expecting a quick score here. Just a nice 2-turn with the screen. Skinks are great at stopping the Elf 2-turn, and I just say Elf 2-turn. It's the same play for High Elves, same play for Wood Elves. The Wood Elves don't always commit to it. But you know, you protect against the blitz as best you can. You line up on one side of the pitch, which is usually the opposite side of whatever has tackle. And go from there. Oof, Brock takes out a Pro Elf. Just a stun though. First action blitz. Like to see the scoring threat get down there first. That's okay. Not punished. Rewarded with a knockout. That's good. If both those skinks manage to stay off on the 2-turn, that will really hamper. I guess not really. It'll make a dent in the Lizards' offensive drive. A little bit of a screen here. However, he can get skinks onto this catcher. And this catcher has 0 skills, so really, if you wanted to make a 1-die with this block skink, I would probably take that. Keeps his thrower deep. He does have strong arm and accurate, so really, if he runs up to the midfield next turn, he can throw 2+, no problem. Get the guard come through right away. Diving tackle as well. I think this is actually a bit of a ruse going with this guy. I'm guessing that Zen is actually going to be the one that makes the catch. I would have liked to have seen that in the blitz. Taking out the blitzer here as the blitz target. Really dislike. He was never going to be the real scoring threat. Maybe he doesn't care about a quick score. Maybe he wants a quick score. I think he could have shut this down a bit better. The reason why I don't like that block on the blitzer is now he's got blocks, or dice basically, on this diving tackle sidestep skink, and he's got block and tackle, really likely to get the knockdown there. As soon as he gets that knockdown, it's a 2+, 2+, get it into the hands with rerolls on both those, this guy, and then he just dodges right through. He's at you 5. And he's not marked by tackle, so Zarky playing great offensively, maximizing his blocks, albeit a little bit greedy, I guess you could say, on offense with a couple things that could have just gone bad if we got quad skulls or whatever. But no, he actually goes this way with it. So he gonna wrestle down this skink. We're gonna see the pass from there. Yep, we do. It is still it was a 3+, so that was max range. But an easy catch with Nerves of Steel. And just a simple dodge out of the one skink. So yeah, actually it's better than using the blitzer, because these guys would have been an assist anyway. It makes sense. Regardless, the 2-turn score, as usual, works. And while he is down the 3 elves, we're seeing a much slimmer defense. Honestly though, if he wasn't able to really pull that off with the wizard in a full bench last time, I think everyone is fully expecting the 2-1 win here for Zarky at this point. In order to pull off the upset, we're going to need to see some failures on pickups by the skinks, which certainly can happen. Only add you 3. And we're going to need to see some really aggressive play out of himself, particularly Zen, the catcher. He really is going to have to cage dive if we want to any kind of upset here. Owner goes down. Owner goes down. No damage. Loner armor holding strong there. 3 die onto the blitzer. Sidesteps backwards. I hate that. Here comes the blitz with tackle. Going on the target that doesn't have any skills. Easiest one to knock down. Does get the knockdown there. I personally would have gone for the thrower. Although he was not in a good position for it, so the best choice of what he had. Get rid of an elf thrower, though. You're really hurting the team. Here's the first of failed pickups. Can there be a second? He does 1 in 9 to failure. That is exactly the opportunity that these elves needed. Check the range as soon as it lets me. Oh, come on. Let me check the range. Blitzer begins his dash into the backfield. Marking the source, I don't necessarily like that. I don't think you have the players to mark, and I think you're punished for marking so much last time. I would have rather seen you try and screen that off just by going up here. Here comes the play from Zen, though. Fails the first GFI. Makes the second. Fails the second. Oh, no. All the ones coming out. Every time Zen does anything, it is just one city. Don't know what he was doing there. I guess it must have been a... No, that was 2 GFIs. He wasn't going for the pickup. I think it's strange. Because he can just get 2 die blocked off. He doesn't have sidestep either. I'm not sure what the plan was there. I thought he was going for the pickup, but that's not where he landed. Knockout on one of the runners. Bonehead, finally, overdue. On the move busted source here. Force finds the POW on the thrower. That was used to base. And then unless there's another 1 in 9 on this pickup, I fully expect... Oof. Both loners get down this turn and removed from the pitch. Now the elves are really, really thin here. Does make that pickup, and he's just going to run to safety. Or relative safety. There's 2 die on the ball. This catcher. Does take it. That's good. Doesn't find the POW. You have to re-roll it. Oof. Well, that didn't go as you wanted. I mean, I like the call there. That's almost exactly what you needed to win the game, was just find that POW, scatter into the source, scatter over here to this guy, and then you can run back. But the miracle play doesn't happen. A 1 in 30. Well, it wouldn't be. It would be. Well, regardless, the POW did not arrive. Time it was needed. And that skink is safe, 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 safe. Far away from the rest of these elves. Source now outnumber the elves just on their own, not counting Croxes and Skinks. I think we can all agree that this one is very safely in hand. Now it's just about maximizing that damage. So I would like, you know, a little bit of protection, or at least not protection, but someone that can kind of cut off the deep dash here. First action fail. Just gets the dodge out of there. That Croc's being bonehead still. A little bit of a threat on the ball. That makes it better. If he's out of his range, then he's going to have to score. Nice. Oof, that one wasn't as nice. I think that was unnecessary. I think going right there is just fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he can definitely get the block here. 1 GFI. Another bonehead. I've been seeing a lot of boneheads lately. Darky does want to stall. He sidesteps, so he's on the line. If he does get blocked, he can just sidestep into the end zone if he really feels threatened. But there are 2 dives on the ball if he makes the dodge out of diving tackle. Last action we're going to see is the mighty below tackle blitz here. Here it comes. Push would be very bad. There's the very bad push. Reroll is successful. Gets the knockdown. I think that would be a significant enough threat to warrant the score. Blitzes and removes the diving tackle. That'll be a big help. Probably too little too late, but it's better than nothing. Last reroll will be used here. And another snake. You know, it wasn't the cleanest play, but I will say, he self-defense, he did get a lot of ones. Not, you know, a crazy amount of ones, but they definitely were at inopportune times. The wizard followed by the snake. Or the wizard won, followed by a snake on that first drive was particularly rough. Not that the snake here really had a huge impact on the game. Would have marked the skink. Would have forced a blitz onto the sidestep. He doesn't get the knockdown. Sure, that's a little bit of annoyance. He could 1-9 fail. Potentially scatter it out of bounds for something crazy. But we're talking a lot of things would have to really go the right way in order for that to have an impact on the game. More likely than not, it was still going to be 2-1, but still. Snaking that doesn't feel good. Especially after the other first action ones that we've seen so far. Darky is being courteous, not fouling everybody off the pitch. Not going for too much blood. He's certainly had his share of it already. But nothing too permanent to the team. It's just a dead loner, so nobody really cares. Badly hurt. He's also badly hurt. Even though he is previously niggled. And that's a loner. So yeah, T-Self's team is just, you know, no worse for wear for this match, but one sneaks up on that dodge. He's at least basing the ball carrier, and with bend blodge step, so this will take a little bit of an effort, but I think he can 3-die it with tackle. Rest of the source moving up. Comes the 3-die blitz. Does have a reroll behind it. He will use the reroll, and he does find the knockdown. The only thing I don't like here is gonna that skink in a weird spot. I guess that's safe there. Another snake. Oh, wow. I'm still not gonna say you were robbed of anything, but dice were not kind. Darky, of course, walks in turn 16, gets the nice 2-1 win. Darky played it very well. You know, it's easy to curse the dice, especially on a failed wizard. But the Pantheon passers, their defense just had a couple questions in it for me. That I just didn't like the overcommitment on the Saurus unless you were really trying to foul and you just didn't get the knockdown, and that's one thing. I think if you're going to do that play, though, the turn before made more sense when you actually had him on the ground. Basing up a lot like that. Yes, it was part of a cage corner, but you had to have a way into the cage after you did that, and I just think you're better off. If you were going to go for the cage, you know, or go to break the cage, you would have had to roll some 1-dies. Yeah, just watching that defense again, I think it could have been defended better. I guess what I want to say. So that would be the opportunity there for the Pantheon passers. You're a Lizard Arry. You know, of course, the quad skull could punish some of the turn order that we saw, but overall, I'd say, you know, Huzarki played a very clean game. Great foul from the skink. Got rewarded for it with the Apo. Let off the gas a little bit on the fouls. I think he could have gotten away with a solid, easy pitch clear, but he didn't need to, and he knew it. There's one other action that we called out. Just making a bunch of blocks, you know, before you had the ball secure. But relatively safe blocks. It's most your source. I think all your source have block skills, so nothing too crazy. What I did like from both coaches, though, you know, your Lizard Arry did a very good job of picking the right targets at all times, and it was good offensive drive. You know, exactly what we expected from the Pro Elves with the nice 2-turn. Great pieces on this Pro Elf team. I think that they're definitely still a threat. They may not have had the best start to the season with this loss, but it's still, you know, anyone's opportunity to make the playoffs in this division where just about everybody has made the playoffs. So it's going to be a close battle, definitely. I guess we can pop in and take a look at the dice rolls just to confirm what we already know. But Pantheon passers, decent chunk of ones. Usually 41s is the magic number, where if you got 41s on an elf team, you had a bad day. Significant amount of 2s, though. Usually that's not a big deal unless you're trying some risky stuff, but a huge failure rate on dodges, 68%. Considering that you're supposed to be dodging on 2+ for elves, that is a staggering amount of failure. Go for it's also not kind. So, quick peek at the Lizard Arry's dice. Very few dice rolled, as it should be. Lightning bolt failure, of course, was significant. All the dodges, all one of them. And that's the thing, if you don't make the skinks dodge, basically if you don't force the Agi 3 play to make Agi 3 plays, it's 50% on pickups, yeah. If you don't force those skinks to do ball actions, handoffs, dodges, pickups, especially in tackle zones, Blizzards are able to usually protect those skinks pretty well. So, one of the things that you gotta try to do here, but all in all, pretty clean game out of Zarky. So that will do it for this one. Let us go back to the cover screen. Well, I picked the next match here. We're gonna hop on over to Div 2 now. I can't find another match from last week. Watch that one. That one is not available. All the matches that I want to watch are not available in Div 2 for Week 2, so I might have to move on to Week 3. The murder. Alright, we'll watch this one after this quick intro. All right, our coverage resumes with a match from Division 2. We Nocturnal, coach of the Communist Frat Party, and Gengar, coach of Iron Madden. Communist Frat Party, promoted up from Division 4. They are currently highest ranked humans, or highest positioned humans, in the REL. After JJ Cash migrated away to G-Man. Again, we have a 3-3-5 opening position, although a bit further back from the line. I actually kind of like this. Humans have great movement speed to begin with, but they're kind of saying, hey, Toon Guardian, if you want to blitz anything that I've got, you're going to need to roll a GFI. Not going to stop anybody, but, you know, that's sending a message. You're going to have to roll extra dice if you want to get what you want. Deep kick. It's always good against Camry. First block action does get the armor break and the KO. Let's see if we pile this on here. We do not. A little bit of restraint. Although, to be honest, it's the right play. 3-die block. Onto the loner. It's the knockdown, but no break. Here's the pile on. No armor break on the pile on or block. And we see probably going to be a Toon Guardian blitz here with the GFI, so curious to see which. Yep, he does make that charge up. Still a 3-die block. GFI fails. Excellent, excellent positioning by Nocturnal. And he's rewarded with a reroll for it. Iron Man does carry 4 rerolls though, so he's used to blowing one of these on turn 1. He doesn't get to blow it on the 3-die block though, so that happens. And we see an immediate foul onto a loner with a send-off. Referee is not having that today. Well aware of Gengar's shenanigans. The loner union has had few words with the referee before this match. And we see deep penetration into Gengar's half of the pitch. Basically, he's claiming this left flank, which, fine. You just don't want to overcommit. I mean, it's Camry. They're slow. Right now, if we see a pickup and handoff, which admittedly would be risky, but if we saw that, it would probably be a bit of a punish. Guard position there to get this 2-die block. Frenzy does a thing. Interesting that he elects to go with the push first. He really wants to get into this particular position. He wanted to dodge out, but he is forced to reroll in order to dodge out to get away from that strength 6 mummy. I just don't know if I like that, honestly. He wanted the blitz onto the AV7 with his mighty blow, and I think he just went about it in a very aggressive way, and it cost him a reroll. Kind of negated some of the goodwill that he had earned from positioning further back and getting Gengar to blow one. I think there's a better target. There was, actually. It would have been this skeleton over here. You have absolutely no presence to the right side of the pitch, and it would have been just as easy to send this one guy with guard over here, blitz this way, and now you've got threats on both sides. I think he's giving Gengar a little bit too much credit, and so what he did was stacked all his bodies up against this one piling on Blitzrock in order to kind of try and deny a block here, but it's kind of in vain. He's got enough guard. I mean, he's going to be able to position to do that. I'm not a fan of that particular approach, because if you did that over here, not only do you not have to blow your reroll, but if you want to do the push, you're actually setting yourself up for a surf. And if, you know, basically saying turn 3, Gengar's going to be down 2 pieces from your 1. Yeah. Plus, if you have some pressure over here, he doesn't just immediately get to cage up right here and protect the ball. But we'll see where this goes. Guard does bring the blitz raw fully back, so this is where he's going to try and set up his cage, most likely. The leader, throw raw, comes in here for a screen. And this human team doesn't have any Agi 4, so diving through that screen is probably not going to happen. Doubt we're going to see a foul this turn. Strength 6. 2-die block with no assist onto that ogre. Gets the knockdown. And the 4+ pickup happens. And slowly but surely the throw raw makes his way to the right side of the pitch, where he fails another GFI. We are 50-50 on GFI so far. Red die block from the blitz raw. Doesn't get a knockdown. Courtesy of that red dice, but I guess that's what Nocturnal wanted. The thrower making the block there on that blitz raw, getting the stun. Communist Frat Party is winning this side of the battle, but this is not the way you play Emery. We will see dice, or not dice on the ball, a mark on the ball, which is good. And a second guard. Bonehead failure. Gonna be one less guy on the pitch there. We go for the foul on Blitzeroff. Rewarded with a stun. Here's the thing. And I'm all about the foul. Definitely. But I would have preferred on this particular turn that he did something to screen off these Tomb Guardians in order to better control this ball. And what I was saying before about, you know, winning this side of the battle, but that's not the way to play Kimry. You can attack the ball, absolutely, and that's not the path that he goes here. And this is going to allow Kimry to really get positional control. And make it tougher for the Communist Frat Party to get what was a isolated throw-off. Doesn't even need the break tackle. Another reroll blown. Wow. Well, I mean, he has 4 rerolls, so he's still got 1 left, but going into turn 4 and he's only got 1 left, that is not good. Gonna be a long drive here, but Communist Frat Party does get the guard into position there against the ball. See if any plays will be had. Lineman makes another knockdown onto leader throw-off. Comes the blitz. Gonna be onto the ball, 2 dice. Not a knockdown. We see the reroll. We do get the knockdown. Ball will scatter. I have to. You gotta pile that on. Just if only to protect your killer from a shot from the Tomb Guardian. Rewarded with the stun. Should not see any pickup attempt this turn. Ooh, rough fail on the pickup. It was a 4+, but it was sure hands. If he makes the pickup there, he would dodge out and probably make a quick pass, I would assume. Scatter's great for the Kimry. No humans marking it. Defend here. I'm actually expecting a skeleton pickup attempt here. See, if he didn't blow all his rerolls. I guess before you did the pickup, he could have moved this loner somewhere. What are you doing? Gengar is, you know, caging up around the ball, I guess, waiting for this Throw-Raw to wake up from the stun. It's going to be very, very hard for the humans to get the ball back at this point. They're going to have to knock over one of the Strength 6 Tomb Guardians to scatter the ball. That's not going to happen. You can see the Communists are repositioning to kind of go after this Blitzera instead of doing anything against these Tomb Guardians. Take that back. He gets a 1-die. Stand firm one though. And oh, it's Frenzy. Doesn't re-roll either of those. Completely understand. 1-die over here. Another 1-die. 1-die central. With no block in the block. Gets the knockout for his cojones. And the leader is on the sideline. At the very least, it doesn't look like it's going to be an easy score for Gengar. I just feel like there's a missed opportunity early to get the score on the humans themselves. Blotch Fend, I really am seeing value out of Joseph Stalin. Strong arm accurate as well, so he's just a real threat. A piece, but that Fend is keeping him alive. 3 blocks. 3 blocks this one turn against Joseph Killer Stalin. Earning his paycheck. This Camry, though, Eddie Paul III. Ups are on point. Doesn't even need sure hands. And another 2-die block onto an Ogre. Just pushed them. Oh no, this is a 1-die. Block advantage, though. Communists again repositioning this guard. He's been around the world. Loner block first, but gets the POW. There is opportunity for dicing the ball, but it's going to be a really long way of getting there. Okay, first one succeeds. Second dodge succeeds. The tricky one. He makes the 4+ dodge. Dauntless for the 1-die. You gotta re-roll that. Oh, he's out of re-rolls. Yes, I don't. Makes the GFI though to stay marked on the ball, so that's gonna force what I would assume is gonna be the blitz here. And then Mr. Throw-Raw is gonna run down this right side. And I would probably say you gotta swing all marks around. Swing around the Rosie from the Ogre with break tackle. And I just don't, if you're gonna base him, you might, why make the break tackle if you're only gonna end up basing him, honestly. Around the other way. 3-die blitz does just get the push onto the human catcher, which does free up the Throw-Raw. See how far up he moves. He's really running out of time. Only 2 turns left after this one. Probably entering potato territory. You're going to see that score. And yes, we are full Latvian. With 2 GFIs. Because of how deep the humans are, I mean, he's in relatively good space. If you didn't mark with the break tackle Ogre, if you had swung over here, you would have had real threat. Because he had to do the blitz over here. You wouldn't have been able to blitz with this Tomb Guardian. All he would have been able to do is mark you, and you would have had a 2+ with break tackle. Get 2 dice onto the ball. Granted, it's blodge, but still getting better than what you got now. But with the dodge failure, we see the turnover, and I think we're into owner territory here. You have this 1 block guard tackle blitzer, who I believe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He can make the 2 GFIs and score next turn, so it may not be enough. Well, that's the play. So we make the one die block and we follow it up. And then I guess we had to follow because we're based by him. I don't know, man. I don't know about that one. If you're fishing for a POW, you might as well just make the dodge first. Regardless, us seeing these blocks here makes me think that we're going to be scoring this turn. First actual casualty of the game is awarded to Gengar. Yeah, no attempt to even move down and mark this blitz for so Rita block is re-rolled. Oh man. So yeah, he blows his re-roll. Obviously if he fails a GFI here, there's nothing he can do. He doesn't fail the GFI. That's between the potato and the luck there. Very, very risky drive. But those are the kinds of plays that you have to make when you play Kimry, so, you know, I guess that's to be expected a little bit. I just think, you know, there's cleaner ways you could have done it. He did get a nice casualty by making a bunch of those blocks, but... And you assume a 3-die block is relatively safe, but still cost him a reroll. I mean, he was absolutely going to try to score that turn no matter what. I don't really like it, but it's Blood Bowl. Doing the best, smartest play doesn't always pay off. And in this case, doing a less good play does pay off. And that's okay. Humans setting up for the 2-turn, 1-turn. And the rain comes into play. Humans cannot be happy about that. Yeah, if the rain didn't come in, that would have been a catch. Oof. Rain is like Kemry's worst nightmare, but Kemry just scored, so humans are really going to be hard-pressed to equalize this touchdown. And they had to have liked their chances coming in here. Certainly no one looks forward to playing Gengar's team to, you know, have to suffer the attrition war, but I think the humans had to feel confident in their ability to win the match, just at a cost. At this point, it is really looking like it's going to be tough for them to do that, pull that off. They still have, you know, a chance, though, to equalize right here in the half with 2 turns to go. Probably almost nothing that Gengar can do to really shut this down, but he doesn't need to. The rain's probably going to do it for him. 4+ pickup is successful. That's the best news that Nocturnal's had all day. Chooses to stay further back, and this is again where I think the rain is going to be a factor. Yes, you've got accurate and strong arm, but you're getting a -1 on this passing roll. I would have preferred you to move up further, since you've got such a solid screen up here. The only threat would be this throw raw, but guess what? He's still a threat with you all the way back here. No GFIs, and he's marking you, so you clearly missed that. If you would have ran up here, you could have brought 1 or 2 of these pieces back and kept it screened, and had this guy here to free this up. So, bit of a misplay coming out of Nocturnal. You see the wrestle to protect him from the piling on, so that's good. And a turnover. That results in an injury for the humans. Unfortunate. Well, is there anyone that can even clear him off? I don't think so. No, that's GFI territory. So we're gonna see the dodge. It's succeeds. 2 plus pass is good. 4 plus catch is not. Sure enough, the rain bails Gengar out. Now you have a choice as the human coach. Do you attempt to score quickly, put the pressure back onto the Khemri team to score if they want to win it, or you stall out? Personally, even though you're down 2 players, bench, I think you're right at 11 still. You got 3, 6, 9, 10, so you're down a player. Gengar. Me, that is a factor. But I think I would do the same play either way. And that is that I would go for the quick score. The risk, of course, is that this is the rain. So you're still going to be looking at a 4 plus catch with a reroll. But I just would feel very confident that with the rain on, it's going to be extremely hard for the Khemri to score a second touchdown. And more likely than not, they're not even going to be able to pick it up, which would then allow you to get a chance to score on their drive, or score on their, you know, their return. So that's what I would like to see from Connor's Frat Party. We'll see what they do. The other reason, though, is you're playing Gengar's game at this point if you stall, because he's going to start whittling away at you further and further. Or Rock, though, that does take out a Khemri. Just a stun. Maybe 7 has been holding fairly strong. These skeletons. Mighty Blow has a chance to do anything. Doesn't even break the armor. I will tell you though, these hold positions instead of following up on these blocks, I don't like very much. Greed reroll. Just for a push. Into a 1-die. You're worried about the frenzy trap, you shouldn't have made that block in the first place. Don't like that reroll. Two deep threats for the score. I like that at least. Problem is if they're marked, there is no way they're catching that ball. I assume that one of them is going to be eating a blitz, courtesy of Eduardo McBrain. Block does a thing for this Tomb Guardian. I'm not sure why we based that one up in particular. Yeah, you got a loner, but I'm just not sure what basing these 2 Tomb Guardians does when you've got 2 other ones that are not based, and you've got Mr. McBrain back here. Chooses the 2-die. He could have made that a 3-die very easily, but didn't need to. And the Gengar pile on does not yield any results. 2-die back on the Leon Trotsky, and he is knocked out. You know, had these blitzers followed their blocks, that would not have been a 2-die. Could have made it a 2-die, but he would have had the position for it. So the decision to not follow those blocks has already cost Nocturnal a bit here. I didn't like it then, I like it a lot less now. Dodge Firm does the thing. Tying up a bunch of skeletons here, but yeah, we're forced to blitz with the Ogre. On a target that, if you had followed, you wouldn't have needed to blitz. I'm really trying to hammer this point home because just there's no benefit in my mind to staying instead of following in those situations. In your mind, he's probably thinking that he doesn't want to get tied up by these Tomb Guardians, playing against Gengar, playing this game, but I think, I don't know. Got some guard. I mean, I think you have to do that. We see the apple used on the KO after a failed dodge for this catcher. Again, signifying that he needs these threats if he wants to try and equalize this game. He's going to be relying upon a 4+ catch with a reroll. He's not trying, I mean, he's basically playing the elf ball that we just saw, where you hang back with your quarterback who's got strong arm and accurate. But in the rain, you know, I would much rather have seen him try and move up in the cage. Although now the numbers have just swung so heavily in Gengar's favor that there's very little that Nocturnal can do. Again, this knockback here, if this ends up in a removal, it does. And options for Nocturnal are really just starting to run out one at a time. There's now only one catcher on the pitch, and that's the one that you just had to echo. Oh god. Wendling. Blodge does nothing. And another armor break. There's going to be 3 humans on the pitch that can be active next turn. 4. Another GFI failure. Another reroll used. Nice 4+ throw rod dodge. Mark up that loner. Here's see where he goes with his blitz action. And the answer is absolutely nowhere. The numbers this one-sided though, it's just not gonna be a thing. In fact, if he gets the foul right here, that's gonna probably end it. I don't see a world where Gengar doesn't make this foul with his dirty player. Dub skull reroll into a single push, so obviously a quad skull would have stopped that foul, but another injury, MNG, Appo's already used. And this is what happens when you play the super high removal game, you know. You end up kind of forced into a position where you're down on numbers and you're stuck. Can't really dodge away from him as an Agi 3 team. Here comes that foul we long expected. This will be the sealed, and even the stun is probably enough to, well, I guess he's got turns left. Second send off. The referees really were paying attention to this game. We're going to need to see something out of these humans in order to make that Hail Mary type play. And the Ogre is now an eligible receiver. Where are we going with this? We are going for the Ogre pass. Inaccurate. Scatter's right next to him. But there's a throw raw right there with sure hands, although it's the rain, so basically need, I mean, it's not that much different if he picks it up with the Tomb Guardian at this point. But you could really sense the desperation there on Nocturnal. I don't think he needed to do that play just then. I think he could have used this loner, swung this loner back, and tried to screen off this throw raw, or this Tomb Guardian. Yes, he's got break tackle, but if you position him in a way where he's got to go backwards, then he can't really come through 2 tackle zones. And that would have bought you another turn. And then your actual action would have been, if you wanted trying to win the game, after you moved your catch up a little, or your throw up a little bit here. You would have ran down the pitch as far as you could after you dodged out and threw it right into the end zone. That was probably your best chance drawing this out. At this point, though, oof, KO on to Joseph Stalin. We are nearing pitch clear territory, which is, as Gengar calls it, or what Gengar would choose as an acceptable game. Hey, 5+ pickup, no big deal. Again, the Blodge Blitzer, or Blodge Throw-Raw rather, has just been having the game of his career. Eddie Paul III. Here comes the blitz on them though, and he's got dodge. He just gracefully dodges out of the way. Easily the best game that Eddie Paul III has ever had. The lone blitzer left on the pitch gets a knockdown, and again 87 holds strong. The catchers have not been doing their job at dodging very well. Blitz onto the Ogre. The Ogre again knocked down. Probably more in this game than he has been knocked down in any game ever before. And if I know Gengar, we're gonna see Eddie Biggs, or Riggs? Yeah, Eddie Riggs. Get a chance at scoring. Two humans and an ogre are all that remain on the pitch. Stand corrected. There is a decent amount of time left on the clock, so we're actually seeing Gengar attempt to let Eddie Paul III get a second touchdown in this game. Break tackle doesn't do a thing when you roll 1. And loner reroll fails. Communist frat party now. Really just on fumes. I would have really rather him move that guy before he made this block. Oh, edging closer and closer to the complete pitch clear. Yeah, now he moves back. This is the Gengar that I know. Nearing that scoring position. We're going to see the attempt at a handoff right here, probably. He's not going to pass it, is he? No. I'm going to save it for next turn. Probably still going to get the foul on the catcher, would be my guess. We do see that. The referee isn't even calling the fouls at this point. He's checked out and figures this game is over. Break tackle blitz onto the throw rock. 87 does break, but no real damage here. The Ogre futilely chasing. Eddie Paul III absolutely could score without any dice needed. We're just not going to see it. No way at all to 3-die that guy. But using the block, Tomb Guardian does pay off. Here we go with no reroll, handoff in the rain, 6+. Does it happen? Negative. We get one more shot at it. Red die block from the Ogre. Break tackle does a thing. 4+ dodge does the thing. Gotta admire Kim Jong-un's spirit. Here's the attempt. Not happening. And that's going to do it for our adventure into Division 2. Communist Frat Party will fall behind to Iron Madden. 18 armor breaks, just enough to almost get the pitch clear. 48 blocks, 7 knockouts, 4 injuries. Those are, I would say, some rough injury dice. I would say the armor breaks were about where they should have been, though. This is surprising to me, though, that only 1 knockout out of 35 blocks. How many breaks was that? 8? The 1 KO out of 8 armor breaks. That's not great. But, you know, we talked about a couple things that Nocturnal could have done differently just with positioning, absolutely following up on those blocks on the line of scrimmage there. They were not putting you into base contact with anyone that could block you, so it just wouldn't have cost you anything. And if you to make the follow-up, and the choice to stay where you were did cost you in the sense of 2 dies into removals. So yeah, that was definitely an issue. And other than that, you know, I guess you could try and make the argument that if the humans won the toss, defending first wasn't as good. But there's no way to know that the rain's coming, so I probably would have done the same thing against this team. The rough side is that, you know, you're playing Agi 3 against these Khemri, but you need to play them like you're an Agi 4 team. So the 1-9s are certainly going to happen, and they did happen, and they were a factor when those catchers tried to dodge out, or when you tried to make that 2-turn 1-turn. So yeah, just a rough go for Nocturnal. Gengar got to play the game he wanted, the way he wanted, and get the win he wanted. So congrats to Gengar. I think that's going to do it for today. I'm getting a little tired, so I will call it there. Hoping to resume our regularly scheduled programming with my co-host Rumblebee, possibly tomorrow night, but maybe Saturday if we really stretch it. And we'll get that recap out to you guys. But in the meantime, I will try and cast if I get any more nights like this where I don't have any games to play. Anyway, thanks for watching. And again, I am trying to get my monetization options back on YouTube. So if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thanks again. See you next time.